Welcome to this presentation. Today I will discuss the policy change in EU and its impact on firm strategies, market and non-market ones. First, I will figure out the reform direction of European social models and what the policy changes are. Then I will analyze its impact on labor market using Porter's and Barron's frameworks. Finally, I will come up with the market and non-market strategies a firm could formulate. The article of globalization says that because globalization will negatively impact employment in continental and Mediterranean countries far more than it impacts Anglo-Saxon and Nordic countries, so that Nordic and Anglo-Saxon models are relatively sustainable, while continental and Mediterranean ones are not, and must be reformed in the direction of greater efficiency by reducing disincentive to work and to grow. So the reform is highly possible in the direction that continental model will move to be more like the Nordic one, and the Mediterranean model to be more like the Anglo-Saxon ones. This chart shows to what degree the four model countries offer employment protection and unemployment benefits. The Mediterranean model had a very strict employment protection regulations and a rather low coverage of employment benefit. On the opposite side, the Nordic model provides unemployment benefits which are both generous and comprehensive, but the strictness of their employment protection is quite low, while the continental model and Anglo-Saxon model countries lies in between. So as the reform process goes on, employment protection relaxation and unemployment benefit cuts are expected for Mediterranean and continental countries. Employment protection impacts people who are employed, and its relaxation makes employed people more willing to behave and perform well so as to stay in their current workplace. Unemployment benefit cuts, on the other hand side, make unemployed people more actively looking for a job, since now they have less benefit to enjoy. The two policy changes will increase competition in labor market, which means that cheaper labor costs are now easier to obtain through individual bargaining and negotiation. Also, there will be more contract laborers and less fixed-term laborers. From a company's perspective, this means that labor cost has shifted from fixed cost to more like a variable cost. Apart from that, labor mobility will also increase between firms as well as across different functions. There are three possible impacts on market strategy. First of all, business counterparty is now tougher than before since they are more willing to fight for their own company's benefit. They may also tend to be more short-term oriented because with no expectation of staying in the same firm long-term, they tend to care less of the long-term impact of their business decisions. So more effort is needed in relationship building since they used to deal with the same person or team for years. Now the person they're negotiating with has just changed. I believe that one way to deal with it is that firm could seek vertical integration opportunities. The second impact would be more startup will emerge for some of the industries with a relatively lower barrier of entry. For example, some of the technology firms. Because there's no longer job securities in the current place, people tend to leave their current employer to seek for startup opportunities. One way to deal with it, I believe, is that firm could find ways to increase their barriers to entry. For example, sign exclusive contracts with suppliers and distributors, make customized software program, develop trademarks and copyrights and a proprietary database. The third impact will be rivalry will also become more intense as labor mobility increase. Talents or senior management leaving could significantly impact a company's profitability or even put its operation on hold. So a firm should provide more rewards like performance-based bonus so as to prevent employee poaching. Now we could move on to discuss the reform's impact on non-market strategy. With a more flexible employment protection, the bargaining power of related industry groups such as industry trade unions should be lowered. so firm could take a firmer stand when negotiating working hours and labor benefits with them. Also, reform could impact the common beliefs at working place. The working environment may change from collaborating to competitive as it is in the Anglo-Saxon model and the United States. This could negatively impact job positions which involve loads of teamwork activities. So HR could incorporate team performance in the KPI to tackle this problem. To sum up, a firm's overall strategy could be internally increase employee rewards and incorporate protection provision in contract to increase employee retention, and use team-based performance appraisal to encourage teamwork in a more competitive environment. It should also develop customized programs and use patents and copyrights to protect its product being brought to its competitor as the employee changes job. And on another hand side, externally, the firms should sign exclusive contracts with its business partners to minimize the potential risk of key employees or management move to its competitors. When facing industry groups and collective bargaining, a firm can now use a tougher approach. So this is the end of the presentation. Thank you very much for listening.